G'day everyone, and once again welcome to the Male Hug in Isolation. We're being joined today by Chris Harwood, who is the Executive Director of Service Design and Delivery at Lifeline Australia. G'day Chris, how are you?
G'day Tony, doing very well, thank you.
Excellent. How's isolation going for you?
Look, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd probably give you probably more of a negative answer. We've found a way to make it work in our family, and yeah, the good structure throughout the day certainly helped improve the way we're sort of tackling things over here.
And some tips that you might have for people out there on how to survive this period?
Mate, the biggest thing for me as a guy was I wasn't able to leave work, so I found myself 2 weeks in a row for the first start of this thing, just flogging myself, and I wouldn't then go on a commute home. I would just open the door. I'd then be exposing where I was at and all my frustrations to my kids. So I essentially invented a commute. I've added a 30-minute break between work and home, and that's done amazing things for me personally.
And is that commute basically just going outside for a bit of a walk or just getting out of the place?
Yeah, we've actually, we've had the luxury of being able to go for a walk around the park nearby. So I've been doing that every morning with either the dog or the kids, whichever one's awake. And that's been the good exercise opportunity for us.
COVID-19's put a massive stress on our whole medical system and our essential services system. Lifeline is definitely one of those essential services. How has COVID-19 affected you guys?
Yeah, look, Tony, genuinely, it's a privilege to be working for a company that's so relevant and helps others in this time. We're seeing the biggest volume of calls to Lifeline on record. Last month in March was the biggest month we've ever had, and I'm really glad to say that a huge rallying cry went out, and our volunteers and crisis supporters have met that cry, and they've stepped up and answered more calls than we've ever been able to in the past.
Fantastic.
We're expecting that to continue to grow.
If people are struggling through these times, and not if, when people do, and there'll be a period of time when they do, and they need to speak to someone, how do they get in touch with Lifeline?
Look, Tony, the best way is to call us on 13 11 14 or go to lifeline.org.au. And we will be our privilege to be able to connect with you and just to unpack what you're going through. That's what we're here for.
And Chris, just for people that have never called Lifeline before and are wondering what to expect on the other end, obviously it's a non-judgmental call and it's just a chat with someone who hopefully may become a mate.
Oh, look, Tony, we have thousands of people across the country whose one goal in answering your call is just to be there to sit with you with what you're going through, to listen to you, and to be someone who can, if you need it, be a safe pair of hands to de-risk what you're going through as well.
Fantastic stuff. So give Lifeline a call. The details are down below us there. Before we let you go, Chris, I've got some isolation questions I need to throw at you. And first of all, your favourite isolation food?
Oh, Tony, after Easter, I'm going to have to go with chocolate, and I'm going to regret that answer.
It did come at the wrong time, didn't it?
Yes.
I think we've all munched out on too much of that. Favourite isolation movie or TV series that you've got into?
Well, with 3 young kids, we've cranked out Star Wars, and I think the neighbours know about it.
Yeah, fantastic stuff on the 5.1 Dolby Digital pumping out.
Look, I think the subwoofer is making a dent next door, which is a good thing.
Great to hear. Obviously, with young kids, board games are a favourite. What's been the favourite game to play?
Let's just say don't play Monopoly. That was some of our early learnings and failings. Let's just, in the interest of family safety, keep it clean. So we've gone right back to the classics, mate. It's Mastermind, it's all the things that we grew up playing ourselves. And they're just as much fun as when you're a kid, especially when you get beaten.
Yeah, they certainly are. If you weren't in isolation with your family, name 3 people that you would like to be in isolation with.
Gosh, if I could have my pick of the litter, Tony, I'd go for my granddad, who's no longer with us. He's probably my biggest influence in life, and I just love to pick his brain. My mother, I think her and I had a lot in common in the way that we work, and we just can't connect physically right now. So she's stuck at home, and I can't connect with her. And I'd keep it in the family vein. I'd still go for my father-in-law also. He's down in Melbourne on his own, and in isolation, it's not as much fun when you've got other people around you. I'd love to have him with us.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, Chris. That's lovely. And finally, if there was one person that you would like us to check up on in isolation to find out how they're going, who would that person be?
Tony, if there's one person that stands out to me over the past 6 months in Australia, it's been Shane Fitzsimmons, the guy that led the Rural Fire Service in New South Wales through all of the trauma and was just there as just like a real stoic, solid figure who led with empathy and integrity. If you could get him to share some of his secrets around how he did that, I think you'd be onto a good thing.
We've got the team onto it already. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of this period. I know it's so different for all of us, but you and your family keep well, and we'll catch up again soon.
Tony, thank you very much. And to those at the Male Hug, keep at it. You never had a more important time to be connecting and supporting each other.